What's happening, guys? So we're back with a reaction video, and it's more AFTV-ness. Yes, I'm going to be reacting to AFTV Robbie or Robbie Lyle on his fan cam. It was his fan cam after the Newcastle game, and then we're also going to go back in time. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too long with a monologue because really you're here for a reaction. This is not live, by the way. As you can see, when it says premiere or premiering, that means that it's already been pre-recorded. It's now premiering live. You know what I mean? So think of it like a film that's just premiered in the cinema. You know, you get me. But anyways, we're reacting to Robbie Lyle and more AFTV-ness. You know how it is around here. You know how I do it. So let's talk about this. Sick of them sweatsuits and them corny hats. Let's talk about it. Let's get it.
I worked at AFTV, I got Robbie with me. We've just beaten Newcastle 1-0 here at the Emirates. Finally, we've beaten Newcastle this season and scored with a win.
Yeah, because we hadn't scored against them until
and
it was a great goal, wasn't it? Declan Rice, fantastic finish, edge of the box. And I think in the second, I thought the first half Arsenal were dreadful. You know what I mean? The tempo weren't right. You know what I mean? I don't know. We were just off. As a matter of fact, we had Raya to thank. On the one hand, he was giving them all the chances, but then he was saving them. You know what I mean? So
were we lucky Isak wasn't playing today?
I'll get to that in a minute, right? But you know, first off, I thought Raya saved us in that first half, but second half we dominated that second half, and I think we deserved overall to win it, and an important win. You know what I mean? Like, I know we were disappointed that we've not won the league, but you've also got to make the Champions League, and that certifies now. I think certifies second, certifies we make the Champions League, and listen.
And we didn't win a trophy this season. Yeah. We didn't win the league. We didn't win the trophy. Nothing. Yeah.
It's not what we wanted. I'm happy that we're disappointed with second because you know what? A few seasons ago, this would be a celebration that Arsenal have made the top four. Now, look, not even one person has spoken about it. Right?
Yeah, because you know why? Because it's the third time on a trot now. You see, I remember the fan cam when we smoked Wolves 5-0 on the last day of 2023 season. You know, when Yardman was saying, he'd still want Arteta sacked, and everyone around him was like, "What about me?" And everyone went into a frenzy. Yeah, we all saw that. Y'all saw that. I think I reacted to it as well. Y'all all seen that.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah. And then outside the Emirates, after we beat Everton 2-1 on the last day, 18th of May 2024, Robbie was saying to Yardman, "You be negative. It's hard, mate. It's not easy." You know what I mean? Now, this time round now, there's excuses of, "But we had injuries, mate." I'm telling you right now, yeah? Next season, should we fail again, let's say we finish second, yeah? And we don't win the league, we didn't have much injury problems, like last season, it'd be the same excuses as what it was in 2024. It's hard, mate. It's not easy. We'll get to that, though. We'll get to it.
I think on the first one, as he mentioned, we made the top four.
Yeah, James said a bad season, finishing second.
Yeah,
you can't blame too much.
You made a good point there when we're talking about our season, and I had a little back and forth with Yardman earlier. I think, Christian, since I was over in Kenya the other day, I was really disappointed. And big up to all the Kenyans, by the way. That watch party last week in Kenya, in Nairobi, was amazing. 2,000 Kenyan fans, mad, passionate, absolutely unbelievable. So big up to them. But when I was over in Kenya the other day, following that Liverpool game, I was sort of like, you sit down and you reflect a bit on the season. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, which team would have won the Premier League with the amount of injuries that Arsenal have had? You just said it. Isak's out. People are like, people are coming up to me,
So, guys, I want you to understand, this is the excuse. This is just the pure excuse now. Now, like I said before, I'm not saying injuries didn't play no part, no nothing. I'm not going to say that. But we're not going to use that to try and take the accountability off the fact that this manager just simply isn't good enough. And we're not going to sit here yeah, and fuel that notion that had it not been for injuries, we'd have won the league. That is bullshit. Yeah. Man are making out we started this season with the injuries that we had. And that's why we just couldn't get over the line. Injuries. We had Saka and them, man, at the start of the season, and we were still in the same form. Unable to get over the line in certain games that otherwise last season we got over the line, fam. You know what I mean? We lost to Bournemouth and Newcastle on the spin. We had Saka and all them, man. All these man they're talking about that were injured, we had them, man. Our form didn't really change that much when these men got injured. It didn't change too hard. We still didn't win 4 games in the Premier League on the spin. We still didn't do that. We haven't done that this season. And it's been like that when the players were here and when the players got injured. So we ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
Isak weren't playing. That's one guy.
Yeah.
One player missing. People are coming up to, Isak, Matty Renton misses me. Isak can't play. That's one guy. Yeah, we've had Saka out for 4 months. Gabriel Magalhaes, one of the best centre-backs in the league, missing since the start of March. Havertz, who we saw today, that's the first time we've seen him since February. Right? Jesus out. Right? Since whether you think Jesus is the answer as a striker or not, missing since January. Out for
and Spurs have had a shitload of players missing and they're in Europa League final.
The season, right? I'm not even on about, listen, the Martinelli injuries and that, I'm not on about, every team gets those, you know what I mean? Take player out for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah. I'm on about long-term injuries, right?
And you know why we're getting them injuries? Because this manager doesn't know how to rotate, fam. Because he will play Saliba and Gabriel for 90 minutes for every season that he can do it. And Kivior wouldn't get a sniff unless he has to come in as an emergency left back. That's what we've seen. Y'all seen
I've seen him do it.
What we all telling, what everybody's saying, we need cover for Saka. One man saying this. I even said I would take getting a right forward that can play as a striker that's there to take the load off Saka. I said that. I said I'd have that over an out-and-out striker. I said that I think it was after the 2024 season. I think I said that. I said I want both, but I know we won't get both. So if I had to choose one, that is what I would have chose because I knew that we needed to take the load off Saka. Yeah, right? And I got sucked into the whole, players are scoring all over the pitch, which they were doing. Yeah? But what we saw was Saka was seeing 90 minutes every single game. Trossard work, Martinelli work. They'd be chopping and changing. But when it came to that right-hand side, we had no cover. This guy ran that 2024 side into the ground because he had the benefit of the doubt they didn't get injured to the degree that we've got now. And he ran it into the ground because he doesn't know how to rotate, because he doesn't trust in his own source. Now we're suffering from it. Now that's the excuse. Oh, no, it's the injuries, mate. Whose fault's it? You got Kai Havertz that can't run, tearing hamstrings, fam. Are you sure? When you've got a player that's tearing up a hamstring that can't run, you know you've got problems. He's wanting everyone to track back now. We're all saying that we better get a strike in this window. I'm saying, more than anything, I just want this manager gone because he'll take that striker and he'll have that striker do all the tracking back that Kai Havertz does. Then he'll probably end up tearing something. Whoever we get as a striker, this manager is going to ruin him. Watch.
Tomiyasu out the whole season. Ben White missing a big portion of the first part of the season. Martin Odegaard out for 3 months at the start of the season. Ben White missed literally. Ben White's only just come back now. What team with 27 injuries, which is the most amount of injuries that of any team in the Premier League that Arsenal have suffered this season, what team would have won it?
Should we have won it last season then? Because we had no injuries then.
Gotcha, bitch.
I'm not on about this season.
I have to give you the opposite.
No, even Cecil, right? Even Cecil even he's thinking, fam, like, now had to be the time. Like, we can't keep giving these excuses now. You know what I mean? Man knows what the deal is.
I asked the argument, and now you're coming with that because you. But I know you've been a big.
No,
No, wait a minute,
wait a minute.
You're a big critic of Arteta.
No, but
And
I'm a logical critic about.
Yeah, because Ryan has a brain. Yeah, that's why. Man like Ryan in the middle, they interjected. You know what I mean?
You're a big critic about Arteta, right? Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But right now we're talking about this season. You've been coming here every day and talking every week and talking about this. I'm saying, I don't want to hear about last season's gone. We should have
Last year's gone. That's what I'm saying. Last year's gone. Last season's gone. But he spent that time talking about how hard it is to win the league. How hard it is because Pep's here. Because he's just won 4 in a row. He said that. Y'all seen it.
I've seen him do it.
He spent nothing but the end of last season talking about how hard it is. Yeah, that was the excuse. We had no injuries. Everyone was blitzing. Yeah, back in the 2024, City got over the line. He spent that time in that fan cam, which I'm gonna get into, talking about how hard it is. It's hard to compete with Man City. We have to go again. It's just hard. You know what I mean? Arteta's next best. Talking about Super Tex is the next best thing other than Pep. Oh, well, Slot came in and saw different, didn't they? This guy.
Just help me to understand.
Information.
Last season,
no, we ran the squad to the ground last season. No, like
so that's his fault.
No,
the injuries are his fault as well.
Yeah. It is his fault.
No, so this is so to me.
No, because he didn't address
so
the squad.
Basically,
he thought we could just run with the first team the whole time.
Basically,
facts. He thought that Super Tex felt that 2024 side. I can keep running with that. Didn't chop and change with Kivior. Kivior didn't see games he should have seen. Didn't come on in games he should have come on. Didn't start games that he maybe should have started. Same manager that got Sterling on loan, yeah, and he barely got sniffed. Sterling got no goals in the Premier League this season. Sterling, we all knew that want it, not the answer. But what makes that worse? What makes that worse is he didn't even use him that much. That's what makes it worse. It's not like he was constantly using him. You know what I mean? Sterling want it, right? And he wasn't even trying to get anything out of him. Games Sterling should have started, he never started. A player that comes to a club on loan and is practically not effective is here for nothing. Because he's going to go back to Chelsea and then God knows what they're going to do with him there. The manager chose that.
No, you can't do that. It's not FIFA. Bex.
So basically, he's answered my question. In that he also knows he can't answer that, right? Even though he's a big Arteta critic. The amount of injuries that we've had, if Liverpool had that, they would not have won it. Listen, let me finish that.
Bad boy keeper, bro.
Right?
No, and I don't mean to pause it all the time because I know obviously you don't want to see the video, but I can answer it. You see, if I was there, I'd say if Liverpool had the injuries we had, they'd still win the league because if we're the ones that are chasing them, we seen the consistency. I knew from Brighton in August we weren't going to win the league. I knew from that game, and that was what the third game in. I knew from then we're not winning the league. Going down to 10 men, panicking at home like that, nah. No way. No way we're winning the league if that's what we're doing already. Where is it? Where is it?
Oh, hell no.
There's no way Jose Enrique were we going to ever win the league. That told me everything I needed to know. I knew that. I'm a nobody. And I knew that. I saw straight away, nah. With that, you're not winning the league doing that. You know what I mean? We have to go to Etihad, Anfield, all these places. And if we're doing that at home, no. And I knew. As you do. It's unfortunate that I'll prove him right. I couldn't be proven right that we'd win the FA Cup for this season. I couldn't be proven right for that. Which still sickens me to this day. But yes, to answer what Robbie is waiting for an answer for, who would win the league with the injuries that we had? Liverpool would. That's my answer. Liverpool would. If it's us, if whoever we're chasing, let's just go with that. Whoever we're chasing in the table would do it. Because we'd still bottle it. The games that the team above drops, we drop. Liverpool were points clear all season, and we couldn't make it up. We couldn't make up the points. The easiest title run Liverpool will ever have. Yes, so Liverpool would.
If Liverpool had that amount of injuries, 27, like to so many key players, they wouldn't have won the league. We all know it. If it's not fashionable to say, it's not fashionable to say, but it's the truth. If City, they've not been the same team. They've not been the same team this season because of injuries, right? Right? You look at other teams, right? You know, I look at Chelsea. They'll have a couple of injuries. I'm not saying they would have won the league, but if Lavia, a couple of players are out, Spurs have had their worst season ever. They've had 21 injuries. It is a factor. We cannot just stand here and overlook it. Now, where I will say, right, I'm with my man here, where I would say two things, right? Number one, in the summer, they should have bought a striker. But having said that, even he would still have thought that would have been enough if he wouldn't have had those horrendous, because you could have bought a striker and he could have been out as well.
We still lack squad depth, though.
Right?
We still lack squad depth.
But
we still
no, but even that is.
We're so lucky. Lewis Skelly in 1 year we emerged.
Now hold on. So now hold on.
I'm becoming really
hold on. Wait a minute.
And the thing is, on Ryan's fan cam, they were talking about that, and Robbie was trying to use the whole, well, we've got Ethan who can play on the right and stuff, and Skelly who's the left back, and they filled in when certain players, like when Sack was injured and when we had no left back and Skelly had to come in. So that's squad depth. So he tried to use academy as squad depth. That's what he tried to do. And the point Ryan was making was that going into the season, we didn't have it. So we had to go with the academy because we didn't have it. First team turned to academy when there's lack of depth in the team. It just so happens that the two players that 1 year in and Skelly, it just so happens that they were good enough to be in this first team quite often. Yet, had we not have won the league the same way we didn't last season, it was close, got to the last day. And the fact that, you know, we had 1 year in and Skelly playing, his excuse would be, well, had it not been for having to use academy, and if those were first team players, we would have got over the line. That's what he would have said. He'd have used that against any Arteta out. He'd use that against any Super Tex out fan. Imagine if we had the squad depth. Imagine if we didn't have to turn to academy. Look what he did for us when he turned to the academy. You know, the same excuse to use in this season. Oh, well, all these injuries, mate. Who can take us to a Champions League semi-final, finish second? Same bullshit. It's never ending with these men. These men are in a constant hamster wheel when it comes to this manager.
1 second again. So this again is a ridiculous myth. Let me finish my point. If we didn't have squad depth, we wouldn't be second. We'd be where Tottenham are. If we didn't have, listen. I just told you, right? I just told you. Manchester City is the team that everybody always points to and says they have unbelievable squad depth, and they're going to finish below us.
They signed Mamouche. We signed nobody.
And they went and made signings. So I'm telling you, right?
In all fairness, when you deep it, Man City's squad depth isn't as deep as what's perceived. It's just that they have their manager and the sets of players that he has. He's been able to get the tune out of them to get over the line. But now he's suffering from it. Now he's suffering from not getting that depth. But guess what they did in January? tried to at least make something happen, and they were one game away from a trophy. Why isn't he turning around saying, well, if we did something in January, we would have won the league? Why aren't you saying that? I don't think I haven't heard him say that. If we'd have strengthened in January, we would have won the league. Was because it's quick to say that if Liverpool had the injuries we had, they wouldn't have won the league, which I call cap. But why aren't you saying if we'd have strengthened in January, we would have won the league? Why aren't you saying that? It seems like he believes in super tests so much.
Make it the point. You've got to be honest. When you look at things, I told you, I sat there in Kenya and I took a look at it and I said, I'm going to be completely honest. It's not, listen, I'm as disappointed as you, but we have to be honest, bro. City, they're going to finish below us. Everyone says they've got the best squad depth.
They've had the worst season. Even the game yesterday against Palace, they were not in it. They were not in the game.
Bro,
Palace were deserved winners. Won their season this season,
listen.
But no, we didn't address.
You know what it is,
depth,
right?
no
When the truth is in front of people, they want to deny it.
Arteta backer, what truth?
Listen, I'm an Arsenal.
Man saying when the truth's in front of man, they don't want to. What did he say? Let me go back.
They were not in the game.
Bro,
Palace were deserved winners. Won their season this season, But no, we didn't address.
You know what it is, right?
No
when the truth is in front of people, they want to deny it.
When the truth's in front of people, they want to deny it. But when you got Ryan there and you got other people telling you the truth about this manager and this team, and we've just finished second for third season on the spin, y'all want to deny that, though, are you? Because you want to move the goalpost again. So what I wonder what next season excuse is going to be. 2026 when we're here again, yeah? Because this manager ain't good enough to get us over the line. Not in the EFL Cup, not in the FA Cup, not in the Premier League, and not in the Champions League, yeah? So once he's not won all those again, yeah? May 2026, I'm looking forward to the reaction I do on him moving the goalpost again. And fans like him moving the goalpost yet again. These men better pray not only that Spurs don't win the Europa League tomorrow night, they also better pray that if they do win it, that this doesn't spur Spurs on to start winning trophies going forward. They better pray that doesn't happen. Because they've got nowhere to hide if Super Tets don't do anything anytime soon.
Backer, what truth?
Listen, I'm an Arsenal backer. I'm an Arsenal backer. I want to
Stop the cap.
see Arsenal win the league, right? But you have to be honest with things. You talk about squad depth.
Be honest about this. What other club does a process thing? What other?
He's under pressure because the truth's here.
No. What do you mean? What other club does process? A big club. We're meant to be a big club. Bex. Even when
else would you get?
Listen, let me just say, you love yourself,
that, man. We heard this for the last few seasons. Who would you get as manager, mate? If you sack Arteta, mate, who would you get? Who would you get, mate? Again, this is how it's possible, yeah, for people to stay in abusive relationships because I have that mindset. Who else could I get? This whole who could you get mindset. They've literally just watched Arne Slot walk into Liverpool and win the league on his first attempt, and they're still talking about who could you get, you know. They're still peddling that nonsense about who can you get. How do we know? Right? Like Oliver Glasner, Crystal Palace manager. How do we know that he might not walk into this team and win that team that we have a trophy? Never mind the league, a trophy. How do we know he wouldn't do that on his first attempt? How do we know? Now, is he my first choice? No, he's not. As I said, I want a manager that's already seasoned so that he can install the mindset in this club so he can start the whole, it can blossom. Yeah? Get me an Ancelotti type manager, a manager that's done it all, been around the block kind of manager. Yeah? and get us over the line so that it installs that mindset now that will be cemented in this club. Because you look at the clubs around us, they have it, yeah? There was a manager out there that won Manchester United their first European trophy, yeah? Right? And then decades later, they had another manager in Sir Alex Ferguson that came and won them everything, yeah? It's in them now. It's in their blood. All what they were doing is in them. That's why you see them in European finals more often than you see us, yeah? Liverpool, it's in them. Getting around Europe and this, that, and the other, it's in Liverpool. Liverpool went 30 years without a league title. Klopp came in. He got them over the line. Now, 5 years later, they've won another league title. It's in them now. That is what I'm asking for. It's in them. It's like an injection. Now it's there. They went 30 years. Yeah? 30 years. And it took them 30 years from 1990 to win the league again. And it's took them 5 years since. It's in them now. You know what I mean? Who's to say somebody doesn't come in, win the league or the Champions League or both for Arsenal, and that's it? We'll win another league title in the next 2 seasons. Bare minimum. Might even retain the league title again. Because we haven't done that since the 30s. You know what I mean? Sometimes when something's lost, something needs to come back. An old injection, all that shit is done, you're going to need a new one. That's what happened with Liverpool, the Liverpools and your Man Uniteds. Yeah? That's what happened to them. Now it's in them now. These man talking about who can you get? Fuck out of here, man. These man piss me off, you know, talking about who would you get? Who would you get? All the time. It's all the talk about who would you get? Who would you get? You know, that's scarcity mindset. That's what it is.
Yeah.
When the truth hits people, they cannot. It's an uncomfortable truth to some people. For you it is. Because I've never seen you jumping on my interviews like this. It's an uncomfortable truth for him. It was an uncomfortable truth when I put it to Yardman. Right? He couldn't answer the question. Watch the interview. He's tripping all over the place because it's the truth. The injuries that Arsenal have had this season, which have been horrendous,
Last season,
right, is a factor, a big factor. Now, when people see that, they want to tell me about last season.
That's a fair argument.
So I'm saying, right?
Because you know why people are using last season and they keep bringing last season is because this season you're saying injuries. You're using injuries as an excuse as to why we didn't get over the line. Last season we didn't have the injuries that we had this season. Now last season it was a relatively clean slate apart from Timber got injured for the majority of it. Other than that, right? When it came to Saka and the defense and everything, we were fine. Havertz and them were fine, and we still didn't get over the line. Now this season we would have got over the line if they didn't get injured. Yet there was no sign at all. There was no sign at all of anything of the previous season when all their men were fit. Because we'd win 3 games in a row, then there'll be a draw. Meanwhile, Liverpool were winning. And it kept going like that all season till Liverpool won it.
Won something.
I'm saying it's a factor. Now, let's go out there and let's look ahead now. Let's go out there in the summer and strengthen this team, right? And when I say strengthen this team, I'm not about going and buying another 10 players, right? To say because we've got squad depth. But we're lacking in some positions, and the main one is a striker. There's no player in that Arsenal team this season that's hit over 10 goals.
You were happy with
right?
that striker, though.
Right? There's no player.
There's facts.
Bro,
yeah. You know, you were talking about a Champions League. We don't need a striker. Man said we don't need a striker. You said that.
Gotcha, bitch. I know you're under pressure.
You said that. We're under
Stop
pressure.
sweating. You're under pressure because the truth is
It's valid.
Why would Ryan be under pressure? Number one, you're on the fan cam right now. Number two, he's calling you out for something that you said and something that you've promoted out there. You know what I mean? I remember when I think I reacted to, I don't know if it was the end of last season or the season before, when there was a whole debate around, do we need another striker? And I remember Robbie peddling that going towards the notion of it's not that big of a deal because of what we have, type of thing. I mean, a man's trying to say Ryan's under pressure. He's interrupting your fan cam to call you out on the stuff that you said. If anyone's under pressure, it's you.
Yeah, go back all the interviews this season. See if this guy's jumped in this many times. You're going to get a chance to talk. And by the way, right, the striker that we've got, who I would have liked to have seen us bring in a striker from the summer, right, and in January, but the striker that we got was injured, both of them. And big up to Miko Marino. He came in and he done a really good job. Remember, he scored the equaliser last week at Liverpool, right? Right. So again, people, we've got no squad depth.
We don't have
but we've got players.
Hold on,
people. We got no squad. People, we've got no squad depth.
We got no squad depth.
We got no squad depth.
Joking, even last season we didn't. We just got lucky without injuries.
Brother, you're embarrassing yourself now. You know.
No, I don't.
Right, listen. Hold on.
No, he's not. He ain't embarrassing himself. He's calling you out. You know what I mean? What's embarrassing is you can watch this, you can view this, and you can view what you said prior. And then you can come back to this and be like, that's embarrassing.
We got no squad depth, people. What Miko Marino's done, who people like him were saying is a crap signing. There's a lot of people who said Miko.
We didn't need him. Imagine if it wasn't Moreno and he was an out-and-out 9 instead. Because Moreno's been fit for most of the season. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Gotcha, bitch.
Imagine if instead of it being Moreno was an out-and-out striker. A clinical number 9. Imagine if he was that instead of it being Moreno. Imagine if that signing was an out-and-out 9 instead.
Marino was an awful signing. Look what he's done. Sit back and analyse. The guy's come in, he's not a striker, and he's done a brilliant job coming in at Arsenal.
You're rewriting the context though.
Mars Lewis-Skelly, we got no squad depth, people. He's about 5th choice left back. He's coming and because of injuries, he's had to come in and do that job. Got himself into the England squad, but we got no squad depth.
We don't.
Right? We got no squad depth, people.
We got
right?
lucky with him.
There's a lot of players that came in because of injuries and
he's not even
stepped
a
up.
left back, he's a midfielder.
Tottenham Hotspur, as I said, are finishing 17th in this league.
In the Europa League final.
So people, you know what I mean? You have to be honest with these things. Now let's go in the summer and guys get a striker. I'd like to see Victor Gyökeres come in. I think for what's available, I think he'd be the best player that we could bring, because I really don't think we're going to get Isak. You know what I mean? So I think Victor Gyökeres is the next best thing. I think his goal scoring record over the past couple of seasons has been unbelievable. He's done it in the Championship. And let's not diss Championship players, because Ivan Toney came from the Championship. Ollie Watkins came from the Championship. Mitrovic came from the Championship, right? They're some of the best strikers that we've had in the recent seasons, right? So I think Victor Gyökeres, I want to see him as that marquee signing this season. I think if you put a guy who's going to come in and get 20 plus goals, that's what Arsenal need. And we need to make signings in other positions.
And if we don't make any signings like that, yeah, he ain't gonna blame Supertex, even though Supertex did say that he has a final say and all that stuff. He ain't gonna blame Supertex. He's gonna say it's your board, mate. So again, I'm letting you guys know how he's gonna move the goalpost should we fail again next season. He's gonna say, well, it wasn't Supertex that signed these players, mate. It was board, and Supertex was let down. Watch. Just watch.
But that's the one I most want to see. And next season, we just have to go again. Definitely weren't going to do it. But you're still gutted, you know what I mean? I'm still absolutely gutted because...
And you know what? Big up to Robbie, because obviously he lost a lot of weight. Obviously, this was a year ago, and you can see the difference there. I've chopped down the video a little bit because I didn't want to expose the logos and all that. Plus, I wanted you to be able to see that he says it 1 year ago down there. So this was after the Everton game. But big up to Robbie for the weight loss. Taking his health seriously, as people should. Anyways, let's get back to it.
I'm just like, you know, it's such small margins. You know what I mean? Like 2 points. We've been brilliant this season, absolutely brilliant. I had an argument with Yardman earlier on because he
What was he saying? So talking about
he was having a go at Arteta. I'm like, listen, to say that is ridiculous.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Yeah, really. Arteta out, yeah. And I said his name, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Super Tech's out. A year later, second again, no trophies. North London rivals are in the European final. Now, people are going to make the argument and say, well, why are we so bothered about them being in the European final that we could never be in there? Because we were too good to be in Europa League. Fam, why were we in the Champions League final then? Arsenal and Tottenham were both in the European semi-final at the same time. Why didn't we make our final? You know what I mean? Yet people want to get on Yardman and Lee Gunner's case because they said that they'd rather be in Europa League because we more likely win it. It's more our level, which is correct. You know what I mean? This is what I mean about certain Arsenal fans out there, yeah? They want to down talk the lower European competitions as if we have any right to talk about, oh, well, it's Champions League or nothing, mate. Fam, we haven't won any of them. Europa League would be like a Champions League to us right now. A conference would be like a Champions League to us right now. You know what I mean? This is why I can see why people give Arsenal fans such stick, because of the way some of us talk. I don't understand any Arsenal fan that exists walking on this earth, born from his mother or her mother, talking down about Europa League and conference. Meanwhile, we have no Champions League to our name. I'd understand if we'd have won a few Champions Leagues. I'd understand that, you know, if we'd have won so many Champions Leagues, and it's like, oh, we're in Europa League, oh, that's not my level. I'd understand a bit more. But we have that mindset, and we have won not one Champions League, been to one final. Spurs have been to a final more recently than us, and yet we're talking like this. Yes, you know what? I'll go a step further. Give me the conference. Give me the Conference League, because we can't even win Europa League, fam. So we might as well give conference a try. I'd take conference tonight. I'd take it tonight.
Like Arteta's done an absolutely amazing job. We were 2 points off City. We had the best defence in the league. We scored more goals than we've ever done before.
Yep. So we did all this. Go on.
We did everything right, but ultimately, when you're up against a team like Man City, the margins are so tight, you cannot afford to even draw a game. Because that's what it's come down to. It's come down to we've drawn a game that they've won. It's 2 points. It's not even a clear. That's what people are. So if some.
So it's what we're up against. FC. It's hard FC. It's not easy FC. That's what it was last year for the end of last season. Yeah. City are just too good. We're going to need to be perfect. Yeah. Pep needs to leave. Yeah. 12 months later, Arne Slot, who nobody knew about at that point. Yeah. Nobody knew much about him at that point. Came in and won the league on our head top. And we're blaming injuries. And the thing is, because it's not City that won the league, that makes the excuses worse. When you look at it, when trying to argue with these, man, it suits them better that it wasn't City that won the league. That's what I'm trying to say. It suits these lot, you Robbies and them, it suits them better that it wasn't City that won the league. Because they can say, well, we finished above them and they had injuries. You know what I mean? If City had still won the league with those injuries that they had, and we had our injuries, they couldn't use the injuries as an excuse because we wasn't winning the league against them prior to this. They couldn't use it. Not as much anyway. They couldn't use it. But because it wasn't City and we finished above them, yeah, and we've had the injuries that we had, and Liverpool haven't had that many compared to us. That's how the competitive. That's how the. This is what I mean about the goalpost will be moved, and it will be moved in 12 months. 12 months time. There'll be more peddling of something else as to why we didn't do it. But City falling off like that, get injuries as well. It suits them. It gave them. It's like an alibi. You know what I mean? Gave them an alibi. That's what he did. Now these men can say, "Oh, see, look at City. They got injuries, and see, we finished." But because we finished above City, that's why it's easier for these men to say, if it wasn't for the injuries, we would have won the league, which is bullshit. I said all along, and I said 10 months ago, I will put a house on it that if City fall off and have the season like 2020, fall off, it won't be Arsenal that win the league. I said that, and I did not have injuries in my mind. I didn't think to myself, oh, well, I think it'll happen because bare players get injured. Nope, I knew. And we came off the back of that season that we just had in 2024 when everyone was blitzing. I said it won't be us. How did I get that right? How? An Arsenal fan from Yorkshire. How did he know that? It's almost like I watch these men and I know how it goes because they've shown me a pattern and the pattern has not changed.
But he's saying that, and if you start looking on it and questioning Arteta, I mean, this guy, Pep's just won 4 in a row. Last season.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
And he went, won the treble. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous what he's doing. It's really, really hard to get past that. So we got to persevere with Mikel Arteta because he's doing it. He's doing everything right. And we're getting there. We're getting closer and closer and closer. But it's so hard. We were so close this year. And I mean, it's that.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting Miroslav closer, and yet so far. Now we have Liverpool to worry about, and these men are still peddling excuses. So who else are we going to have to worry about? I'm telling you, let Leeds United dare get in a title race. For example, who else came up? Burnley. And then Sheffield United or Sunderland. Let them just be in a title race, just out of nowhere. We're fucked. Because what we know is you don't have to be Man City now to win the league. You don't have to be them. You can be Liverpool and you can still win it. So who's next? We couldn't win it when we were 8 points clear, top of the league for 93% of the season. Still couldn't do it. We couldn't win it when we had 8 games left was it about 8 games? We just needed to win 8 games. That's it. Win 8 games, it's yours. Super Text makes a change in the Villa game. Hang on a minute. As you can see there, the one change he made was the game that we lost, where he went back to what he did for the start of that season, which was, let me play Kai Havertz as a number 8. That didn't fucking work. Yeah? Look at that. 1 draw, 1 loss. Still can do it. That's how I knew that even if City fall off and and it's meant to be us now, it still won't be us. That's how I knew, because the pattern. Now what I know is if Liverpool fall off and City fall off, somebody else will take our place. Our supposed place. Somebody else will take it. That's what I do know. Because they show me the pattern now that no matter what, under this manager, you're not getting over the fucking line. That's what they show me.
Game really that has kind of cost us.
Is that for you? Because someone say the Fulham game, maybe the Chelsea draw.
The Fulham game, and that was. Look at. I want people to go away at the end of the season and look at our running. How difficult that running was. Chelsea, they want to stop us. Tottenham, you saw them celebrating losing a game.
Who does that?
Yet still,
when
we went at their place, when they really had the opportunity to stop us, they couldn't.
Yeah. See, all this is saying just makes this season even worse, because some of these teams. Some of the teams that you'll mention I know he's going to mention Man United. Man United took points off us this season. They took a couple of points off us this season.
And we were battering them 3-0 at half-time. So we had to go to Tottenham away. We had to beat Chelsea. We had to go Man United away. Hard running, and we negotiated that. But still, the 2 points short, you know, and I'm a bit gutted about it. This summer, everybody's talking about signings. The solution is simple. They spend a whole summer in Dubai, and buy a striker. Listen, we don't need a lot. You know, normally when the transfer window comes around,
You have a long list.
when I do like these interviews at the end of a season, man's giving me a shopping list. Man's going, yo, we need this, we need that. Man's naming out 8-9 players. I don't think we need a lot. I think we just, Dan Potts said it earlier, we just need to strengthen with quality. Bring in top quality players, and I think we can do it. I think we can do it next year, but it's really tough for this guy, Guardiola.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Maybe we get him kidnapped or something like that. I'm only joking.
Yeah, man. I need to ask you, like, that feeling that you said, like, next season. As a fan, it does hurt. I know what you're saying. We got so close, but you got to give commendam. It's going to be a big ask for the boys to get back up on the horse again and go again.
It's painful. You know what I mean? Me and you, we've done like every game this season. We've been up and down the country.
Yeah.
We've been seeing amazing away performances by Arsenal. Absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, this team has just been so good, and that's why it starts to hit you, because, like, number one, the season's finished, which is like unbelievable. Like we've reached the end. But number two, I'm just sort of thinking back to like the journey of the season, like going everywhere around the country and how well we played. Even when I go back to like the summer in the pre-season, and we were looking at the team and we say, hey, Timber, brilliant player, he gets injured right at the start, and we're looking at Declan Rice, we're saying he's going to make a difference. But when I look at the journey of this season, all that we've done, the work that's gone into that team, the how brilliant the fans have been, you know, it's kind of hard to know that we've come up short, because it just feels like we shouldn't have done. It feels like we should have won it.
Yeah, we should. If we'd have got rid of him and got a competent manager in, yeah, we probably would have done.
Because we've been so good. We have improved. We've improved a lot. And we'll improve. I feel that under this manager, and I love what he said at the end there when he's saying that, you know, listen, don't be satisfied with this. I love.
Yeah, don't be satisfied with it. Now, fast forward 12 months later, you're using excuses. Meanwhile, we were in 2 semi-finals this season. If we'd have won the EFL Cup, these men would have a lifeline talking about, well, injuries and, you know, they'd have a lifeline a little bit. At least when trying to defend Super Tex, they'd have a bit of a lifeline. But the fact of the matter is Newcastle beat us 4-0 in 2 legs in the semi-final to win their first trophy in 70 years on our head top. So as much as, you know, he didn't win the league again, he didn't win a trophy again. It's not like, this is what I'm saying to people. If he's giving us cups in the meantime, I can take this. But he's not even doing that. And all they're defending is why he didn't win the league. They're not talking about why he didn't win a single trophy. They don't want to go there. That's why they're only talking about, well, we've missed out on the league this time. The league shouldn't be the only thing we're trying to win.
You know what I mean? He's a winner. He's a winner, and
Stop the cap.
he's going to get that.
Does he have to win silverware next season?
When people talk about managers, right?
Glossed over that, didn't they?
A great manager's left today.
Glossed over that fucking question, didn't they? You know what I mean? Glossed over that question, didn't they? Want to ignore that. Didn't want to go back to that, though, did they? You know what I mean? There should be a clip somewhere of, does he have to win the trophy next season? There must be a clip somewhere from last season. And it would have been like, yeah, that's true.
Klopp, right? He's a great, and I think he is a legend. You know, I do. I think he's a legend, right? He's left, right? After Pep Guardiola, who's the next best manager in this league? True. It's Arteta by a mile. It's not even close. No, the next best manager after Pep in this league is Arteta, easily. When you look around Europe, and you used to say when you're looking for managers, there's not a lot of outstanding managers. Maybe that guy Amarin, a Sporting, he's done a fantastic job. Yeah, but Ancelotti.
Yeah, the Amrim that's now in the Europa League final. Yeah, would have relegated Man United, like, but he's in the Europa League final. So he listed the manager that ended up taking Man United into a Europa League final.
Ancelotti's not, you know, and Ancelotti was in the Premier League at Everton, and he flopped.
Oh, he flopped. He spent what, one and a bit seasons in England with Everton, and you see how can you see what he's doing? You see what he's doing there? Ooh, Ancelotti, Everton, look what he did. What about what he did at Chelsea when he won a double in his first season? Right. See, you want to skip over that bit. I mean, you see, I don't want to skip over that bit. Man will have you believe he never went Chelsea and won him what he won him. You would believe he didn't do that if you just listen to these man. Oh, look, he did everything and he flopped. What's Arteta doing then? What's Super Tex doing? If Ancelotti flopped at Everton, fine. What's Super Tex doing right now? Because Ancelotti, on his first attempt with Chelsea, we won him the FA Cup and the league title, fam. On Man United's head top. Y'all want to skip that. Y'all want to skip that.
So he's a great manager. I'm just saying that we've got a top quality manager. We've got him now.
Stop the cap.
So we have to believe in him. We have to back him. The board have to back him. Continue to back him.
So do you think it's outrageous that fans say that?
Achieve.
Do you think it's outrageous that fans say we can't get over the line? We need to look at.
No, it's just outrageous. It's outrageous because Klopp was there for 9 years and he won the league once. It's not easy. It's not easy. Guardiola just won it 4 years in a row. It's a new record. So we got the right guy. We got the right guy. The only other guy that I'd take instead of him is Pep. I mean, I'm telling you, he's already at a club. So.
Let's go to the game quickly. I know we're going to do player ratings later, but let's go to the game. Yeah, can I just before we close, because I'm pondering on a question. Your theory.
So we're back to the fan cam of this season of when we beat Newcastle now, just in case you haven't seen the transition.
No one wins the league with that many injuries, and I actually think that's fair. 27.
Show me.
Bollocks. Liverpool would win the league with those injuries. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? Against us, anybody against us, if you're top of the league and we're a few points behind you, you'll be all right.
27 injuries,
Europe,
and
show me any team around Europe that do that.
Right. So then, when it comes to the Champions League, then surely we had no hope from the get-go.
Did anyone think, right, even at the start of the season, nobody came here and said we're going to win the Champions League?
And at the same time, because obviously Cecil mentioned the Champions League, but we're in the semi-final of the EFL Cup. Why did we go out to 10 men Man United at home in the FA Cup? Why are we not winning cups if we're going to go with these injuries excuse, right? Why, with what we have, are we not winning any of the other cups? Why not?
We did well to get to. Listen, we're disappointed again. We did well to get as far as we did. You know what I mean? When we had Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, nobody gave us a chance to remember. Let's remember that, people. Yeah. As I said, you know what I mean? Because people don't like to deal with the truth. Let's remember that. I famously said we got a 40% chance. I was told I'm deluded. Yeah. Right. So let's remember these things. Right. So, but it's all about next season. It's all about, because the one criticism which is true is that Mikel Arteta has not got us over the line. So what does he do to get us over the line? Because he's going to be under pressure next season. If he doesn't win something next season, you do have to look at making a change.
Right. Bookmark emoji right there, fam.
Because you can't just keep being runners up, second, semi-finals all the time. You do have.
Exactly. Like Southgate, when you wanted him out so quickly because he kept being a runner-up and you couldn't take it anymore. And you felt that if you get rid of him and get somebody else in, at this point, you can possibly get over the line. Yeah.
To win, you can't. You're not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to make any excuses next season because people are going to have such an expectation to win something. So go out there and get. Well, there's no point in talking about this season because it's over. We've got one game left, bro.
No, but so mark my word. After the season ends next season and we don't win nothing,
I just said
he'll say, "Oh, next season."
People, we've got here. Yeah, we got a video running where I just said.
We know you're going to do it, fam. We know next season the goalpost is going to move again, and you're going to talk about Start needs to leave, mate. You'll be summer. Watch.
This is the next season.
I just said, people, he has to win something next season. And I've been to, oh my God. I'm out, man. But listen, everybody enjoy this summer. Wait, we got one more game. We've got one more game. Enjoy this summer. And you know, before I go, I want to bring my man. Right, just tell him, I know you, I remember.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. It's Arteta in. Whoever wants to say Arteta out, you're a Neanderthal. You're a Neanderthal.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
You're a Neanderthal. And no, Arteta has done an amazing job this season.
Stop the cap.
He's progressed every single year. Every single season you can see he's increased the points. This season he hasn't, but he's reached the semi-finals.
Shut the fuck. Shut. Did I say? No. Oh shit. Say it again. Say something else. Oh. Say something else. Say something else, nigga.
That's that shit I'm talking about with fans. We progress. We got to semi-finals, mate. That's what we are today. Semi-final FC. That's what we are. The bronze bomber. And we have fans like that. Anybody who's not super text in is a Neanderthal, according to this guy. Have you heard this guy? Anybody who's super text in is a Neanderthal. Oh, yeah. Anybody who isn't super text in is a Neanderthal. These are the fans that are just happy that the Arsenal Football Club exists. They don't care about, nothing else, really. They don't care about the history, but they don't care about creating more of it. But that's where we are today, guys. That's where we are today. Anyways, I'm done with this video. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow all the socials. Links in the description below. I'm going to premiere this. It's going on 3 o'clock now. I've got a stream later on to do for the the match preview of the Europa League final, where we're all Manchester United, aren't we? Shameless FC Manchester United edition coming soon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
And if anyone wants to have a come at me,
Come and find me. I'm in the car park now.
because I'm a black belt in karate,
Stop the cap.
come and have a pop.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.